Good morning. I just needed to pause. I hope you paused today. Before I jump into this, I just want to thank Chancellor Sullivan, President Glenn Sullivan, President and CEO Dr. Marr, distinguished panel and faculty, honored guest. Guys, I'm really happy to be here today. This smile is real. It's not fake. It's not because I have to stand here. I fell in love with education years ago, and I am intellectually curious because of a lot of my experiences here at Sullivan. So I'm going to take a moment to share some things with you today. But first, I got to get you involved because I know you got to stay awake. So the first thing I want to ask you is, without saying it out loud, I want you to think of 3 things you wish you could have done better or you'd like to do better that you thought about when you were in school. Just give you a second for that. You know how you can think of that really quickly? Now I want you to think of 3 things that you love about yourself. Which one was easier for you? Was it easier to think about what you could do to change yourself as opposed to celebrate all of your fabulousness? And I do mean fabulousness. See, the one thing that we don't tell each other enough is how amazing we are. And this is for the graduates right now, but I hope everyone in the room is hearing me. I'm here to remind you today that you are amazing. You are special. You have something to bring to the world. Someone reminded me of this years ago, which allows me to stand here today. 2 decades ago, as Miss Sullivan College's system, I found a platform about clothing for people with disabilities. And this week, as I prepared to come here and talk to you today, Tommy Hilfiger dropped his first line, dropped being a colloquialism for released, his first line of clothing for people with disabilities. It's interesting when I started having these conversations and talking about this. Imagine seeing the unseen for 2 decades. Imagine being a person talking about something and people nodding and slowly walking away, not wanting to hurt your feelings. Imagine having a passion about something that people not necessarily understanding. How do you go on? How do you stay personally motivated? I tell you how. Looking in the mirror and reminding yourself, I am amazing. You see, I know you can do this. You know why? Because you're sitting here today. Every skill that you put in place to bring you to this moment in time today, don't neglect that skill, because that's the skill that you will need. Those are the skills that you will need to stand up for yourself when no one understands what you're talking about. Those are the skills that you'll need to be able to understand that, okay, maybe people can't see what I'm talking about or fully understand what I'm talking about, but I'm going to trust myself. I'm going to trust my gut instinct. And not just an instinct in work, but an instinct with people. Marcus Lemonis is a gentleman I like to watch on CNBC, has a really great show called The Prophet, and I love it because he says, people, process, and profit. I surround myself with good people. I surround myself with good people. I surround myself with good people. And it's going to make a huge difference in your life. I'm telling you. You're like, oh, I'm already living. PhDs, masters, bachelors, associates, you already know, you already have things going on. And you know the difference that it makes on those tough days when you have people around you that drain you and you have people around you that motivate you and inspire you. I jotted down some things that I wanted to share with you. I started out talking about how 2 decades ago I had this idea and these thoughts about clothing for people with disabilities, but I'm not a designer. I'm a communicator, I'm a speaker, I'm a storyteller. So I used my skills that I had to do what I wanted to be able to do to empower people with disabilities. So I came up with the idea to be a stylist. Since I don't design, I figured that I can create a styling system that can help caregivers and help people with disabilities dress with dignity and self-reliance. Why should you care about that? Well, because you have an idea. There's something that gnaws at you that no one may know about, that you've never shared with anyone. And I'm here to remind you that that thing that gnaws at you, that's the thing that you're here to fix. That thing that will never leave your mind, that's the thing that you're here to fix. And you don't have to fix it the way other people would fix it. Take your own skill sets. Take the things that you know how to do. Sometimes I think about the fact that we talk a lot about being able to overcome challenges, but how often do we say, are you ready to be a success? Are you ready to sometimes feel lonely? Are you ready to sometimes have people say, she thinks she's this, or he thinks he's that. Look at this person. They don't talk about that a lot, but that's a part of your success. You're gonna tell somebody, oh my gosh, I just graduated, and they're gonna say, you think you're better than me? I wanna give you just a heads up. Their comment is not about you. It's about them. So if you can just kind of look past that and understand that you may say your success may challenge them to be better, don't take that personally. But I would say to you, prepare yourself for success, mentally and physically, with your health, and being able to say to people that, you know what? I'm okay with standing out. I'm okay with appearing different. I'm okay with people not necessarily understanding me. Overnight success, I don't believe in it. 2 decades is not overnight success. Much of what it takes to accomplish goals is messy, it's arduous, it's all over the place. To be a trailblazer, to do anything that you're passionate about, it takes you being able to be flexible and being able to change. It takes the courage to be able to look in the mirror and say what I started with. You are amazing. And sometimes you expect people to say that on your graduation day because that's kind of like what we have to say, but I'm not saying it because of that. I just feel like with social media that allows us an opportunity to no longer be in the dark but to share, we get caught up in what the trend is. Do we have 2 million followers? Am I a macro influencer? Am I a person that's, able to get brands to support me? And then we forget about our own uniqueness. Sloppy copies are not necessary, guys. That's Pharrell's saying, not mine. Don't be a sloppy copy. You have something that's so special to give. But I know with social media, I work with brands and influencers. I know the temptations of trying to do everything you think is necessary in order to look like and be like everyone else. You didn't get to where you are today because you did your assignment exactly like the person sitting next to you. You got here because you have something special to share. These last couple of thoughts I want to share with you are things that I've learned over the years. And I know I didn't go into detail about everything that I do in my career, but I didn't come here to do that because this is your day. Honestly, I changed this speech several times because I wanted to be in the moment. I wanted to make sure that anything I shared with you today was something that came to me in the moment, that maybe someone, if you can take just one thing that I've said today and you can apply it to your life in any way, I will feel like that my moment here has been special. You see, I'm honored to be a part of your life story. You may not remember me 10 years from now, but maybe you'll remember something that I've said, okay? The first thing is be authentically you. I love dance. I'm a non-traditional student because my first 2 years after high school, I was a professional cheerleader for the Chicago Bulls. It was an accident. I can't take any credit for it, honestly. I'm not kidding. I stumble into the oddest things. So I go to this audition. I'm number 23 out of 400 women. I didn't even know who Michael Jordan was. So to get his number and not really know where I was or what I was doing was pretty incredible. I wind up becoming the youngest captain on the Lovables. And I got a little bored with that. You know how you are when you're 18, 20 years old. You're like, okay, I'm over that. So then I decided to take a vocal scholarship. And then I started to study all of these liberal arts. And then I was introduced to the world of business at Sullivan University. And it changed my life. It changed the trajectory of my career, guys, because I could bring my love for dance and studying and research all under the guise of business. Let me tell you why I mentioned my love for dance. You see, I was told that I wouldn't walk. I have 3 toes on one foot and 4 on the other, and yes, I love to rock a heel. I like high heel shoes because I'm kind of petite. The doctors didn't even think I'd be able to stand, let alone walk or dance or do any of those things. So my point in this, no one knows you like you know you. No one knows you like you know you. Don't let anyone determine your limitations based on what they see. If I am born this way, I believe in God. He didn't make any mistakes. He knew exactly what he was doing. If he chose to make me this way, then it was because this is what I needed to be in order to share my story with someone. So be authentically you. Manage your expectations of others. It took me years to learn that. I always expected people to celebrate me and to celebrate my accomplishments. You know how you're just excited and you want to tell your friends and you're super excited? Manage your expectations of others. Why? Because, man, we're doing this thing together. We're all going through life. We're going to have good times and bad times and moments. You might go to someone with your good news and they've just lost a loved one. Someone may be driving in a car and you're patient and you're going along and maybe they just lost their job. So managing your expectations of others will relieve a lot of stress. So be authentically you, manage your expectations of others, and just fall in love with your craft. Study, research, study, research. You're like, oh man, I'm at my graduation. Are you really talking about studying and researching? Yes, because this is just the beginning. And here's the exciting part. You get to do it for you now. It's all for you. Even though your education was for you, some of the studying was put on you that maybe you thought, I'd like to study something else. So I would suggest, and it's only a suggestion, instead of the time that you used to study for getting this degree, now put that time into the thing that you want to do, the thing that you want to do to change the world. Even if you only set aside, less time, like 10, 15 minutes to do it. Staying motivated means staying on top of it, staying excited about it. Be your own cheerleader. Does that make any sense? I'll tell you what keeps me excited. What keeps me excited is that my disability fashion styling system, which has 3 very simple points. 1, accessible. Making sure that it's easy for people to get in and out of clothing with disabilities. If you're wondering what the difference is, someone who's in a wheelchair has what I refer to as a seated body type. That seated body type means that the pants need to be just a bit higher in the back, longer in the front. Those rivets and different things on the clothing could actually cause harm to their body. So you want to make sure that it's easy for them to get in and out for their seated body type. You want to make sure that it's number 2, medically safe. And number 3, you want to make sure that it's fashionable, that works with their lifestyle, their body types, and when they look at it, they smile. We don't really talk a lot about managing our dress and self-efficacy, but it's connected. Today, you got to choose what you wore to your graduation. There are a lot of people with disabilities that don't often get to make those same choices. So the things that I want to say is when I developed that system, I developed something, and this is my final point. I know you like to hear that, so now you're listening. This is my final point. That you don't have to approach a problem the same way everyone would. Find your way. I need to say that again. Find your way. Trust yourself. I don't know why this keeps coming to me to say it to you, but trust yourself. I know what you read, I know social media, I know everything around you. That disability fashion styling system came to me when I was flown to California and a designer walked me around their facility and they were like, oh, she's gonna design for people with disabilities. Gave me some clothes and sent me home and never took my calls again. This is my absolute final point. Welcome the closed doors. I wouldn't be doing my work today had they not closed that door for me. So thank you, designer that I can't say your name. It has been a pleasure to be a part of your life story. Be authentic, manage your expectations of others, fall in love with your craft, study it, research it, trust your gut, and welcome closed doors, because I guarantee you there will be an opening for something even better.